Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev, Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19. Today we will see text 26. But before we see the text, we will chant the auspicious invocation prayers. We will chant, please try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsadevāya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsadevāya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsadevāya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam sukamukātamrita dravasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuragho rasika bhuvibhavakaha narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyāsam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ su-kumāra-pāda. dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ su-kumāra-pāda. karoru-bāhv-aṁsa-kapola-gātram. karoru-bāhv-aṁsa-kapola-gātram. cāru-āyata akṣa unnasa-tulya-karṇa. cārv-āyatākṣonnasa-tulya-karṇa. dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ subhrv-ānanaṁ kambu-sujāta-kaṇṭham subhrv-ānanaṁ kambu-sujāta-kaṇṭham tvam dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ su-kumāra-pāda karoru-bāhv-aṁsa-kapola-gātram cāru-akṣa-tulya-karṇa subhrv-ānanaṁ kambu-sujāta-kaṇṭham tam dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ su-kumāra-pāda karoru-bāhv-aṁsa-kapola-gātram cārv-āyatākṣonnasa-tulya-karṇa subhrv-ānanaṁ kambu-sujāta-kaṇṭham tam dvyaṣṭa-varṣaṁ su-kumāra-pāda karoru-bāhv-aṁsa-kapola-gātram cārv-āyatākṣonnasa-tulya-karṇa subhrv-ānanaṁ kambu-sujāta-kaṇṭham. Matajis. Okay. Tam, him, dvi-aṣṭa, 16, varṣam, years, su-kumāra, delicate, pāda, legs, kara, hands, uru, thighs, bāhu, arms, aṁsa, shoulders, kapola, forehead, gātram, body, cāru, beautiful, āyata, broad, akṣa, eyes, unnasa, high nose, tulya, similar, karṇa, ears, subhru, nice brows, ānanam, face, kambu, conchshell, sujāta, nicely built, kaṇṭham, neck. Translation and purport by His Venerable Sabhaicharananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, please repeat. This son of Vyāsadeva was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and other parts of his body were all well delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conchshell. Purport. A respectable personality is described beginning with his legs, and this honored system is observed here with Sukadeva Goswami. He was only 16 years of age. A person is honored for his achievement, not for advanced age. A person can be older by experience, but not by age. See, Sukadeva Goswami, who is described herein as the son of Vyāsadeva, was by his knowledge more experienced than all the sages present there, although he was only 16 years old. Harihi Om Tat Sat. So, in this verse, there is a very beautiful explanation of how the bodily parts of Sukadeva Goswami was formed. And especially each and every body part has been explained, that his legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, they were all delicately formed, His eyes were beautiful and wide. His nose and ears were highly raised. He had attractive face, and he had neck like a conch shell, etc. So, Prabhupada in the purport also brings up another topic, which is that how a person should be respected. So, there are two topics which are meant for discussion, which is the description of bodily features, and the second topic is that on what basis a person should be respected. We'll try to deal with these topics as much as possible. So, the description of the body of a great devotee, as well as the description of the bodily features of the Supreme Lord, this is frequently found in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very frequently found in Srimad Bhagavatam. And also in other literatures, also there is a description of the Lord Chaitanya's very beautiful form, Lord Chaitanya Nityananda, very beautiful form. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtane kapitaro kamala-āyata-akṣo vishwambaro dvijakaro vigadharmapalo vande jagat priyakaro karuna-avataro. So, there also it is said that the Lord, both lordships, they had very long arms and they had a golden form, kanakavadato, they had golden form. So, like that, sometimes we find also the description of the form of the Supreme Lord frequently in Srimad Bhagavatam. Like especially in one place, there's a very nice and long description of the Lord, which is given by Narad Muni personally to Dhruva. The shloka starting from Tarunam Ramaniyangam. He very beautifully describes, shloka after shloka, the different features of the Supreme Lord, that how the Lord is, he is very youthful, all his bodily parts are well formed, he has very large, beautiful eyes like lotus petal, his feet are always glorified by great devotees. Like that, he mentions many, he has 4 arms, and in those arms he is having these 4 items, Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. He is always smiling. He is able to give benedictions to fulfill the desire of his devotees. So many different wonderful explanations Narad Muni gives to Dhruva. And then Dhruva is asked to meditate on that form of the Lord with all those beautiful qualities and features. And then when the Lord appears as Prishnigarbha in front of Dhruva, Dhruva's meditation is broken. Then Dhruva opens his eyes and he sees, and he saw the Lord exactly as described by Narada Muni. The description of Narada Muni was very appropriate in the matter of describing the Lord's form. So there in that purport, Prabhupada writes that the Lord's form is not an imagination. It's not that the yogi has to imagine the form of the Lord. Like in the beginning, many years back, when I got interested in, I was just getting interested in ISKCON. Someone was preaching to me, my Siksha Guru, Isgir Satnakar Gauranga Prabhu, he was preaching to me. And till the time I had no interest in spiritual life, any sort, some piety, sometime go to temple, like that. Then I got some interest in ISKCON due to his preaching. Then naturally I got interest in anything spiritual, because in the beginning it happens that you say, get into some spiritual activity, then anything spiritual looks very attractive. Then one of my friends, one colleagues was working with me, he said that, oh, now you are interested in spiritual things, why don't you come with me, I will take you for a meditation session. I said, oh, very good, you can go for meditation. And then I went for a meditation session, and then they told me some sort of meditation, I forgot the name, some meditation they told me, that is some meditation. And then we went and we were all sitting in one house, and then the person who is supposed to teach meditation, he came, and then he said, now you all close your eyes and meditate. So, and I asked him that what to meditate on. He said, meditate on anything. Meditate on anything. Then I asked him, I am little, sarcastic. And in those days I used to be a lot sarcastic. So I asked him, can I meditate on Rajinikanth? Rajinikanth is an actor, he's a cinema actor in India, especially in South India. He's very famous. So I asked him, can I meditate on Rajinikanth? He said, why not? Just concentrate your mind on whom? On Rajinikanth. That's the last time I went there. I told my friend, see, I am fool, but I am not this much fool. I agree I am fool. I don't know anything about spiritual life. But I am not this much fool that someone will come and tell me that close your eyes and meditate on Rajinikanth and I have to accept his meditation. I am not this much fool. So, the object of meditation is a form. And that form has qualities. And those qualities are transcendental. So, therefore, whenever we find a description of a great personality or whenever we find description of the Supreme Lord, immediately we find many descriptions of his form. It is very important to know that the qualities of the Supreme Lord are transcendentally non-different from him. The form of the Lord is not like any mundane form. The body of a Mahabhagavata is not like any mundane body. Rupa Goswami says that even if there are defects, like for example, in the description of Sukadeva Goswami, we don't find any defect. His body was completely well formed, without any defect. Very, very nice. Except that he was Digambara. Digambara means he was dressed by directions, means that he was not wearing any dress. And then he had not maintained himself. So he had some loose hair, he had not maintained his body, so therefore he was looking a bit strange. Otherwise, anybody could see, anyone who knew Lakshana, Samudrika Lakshana, sometimes they say that the auspicious signs by which a great personality is known simply by seeing his form. Anyone who knows that signs, they could immediately make out that he is a great personality. He is not an ordinary person. So, therefore, the description of the form is very, very important. If there is no authentic description of the form, then fools and rascals, they will say you meditate on anything. Therefore, there is so much importance given on the description of the form. Like there is very nice, beautiful description of Lord Krishna's form as he enters the herding pastures in Vrindavan. Barha-pītam, Natavara-vāpu, Karnayor, Karnikaram, Bibrit-vasaka, Kanaka-kavicham, Vaijayantim chamalam, Randhran Venur, Adara Sudaya Purayan, Gopa Vrindayar, Vrindaranyam Swapadaraminam Pravishat Gita Kirtihi. So, how the Lord entered the pasturing grounds. Very beautiful description is there. That he was wearing a peacock feather on his turban, Barha-pītam. And the way he was walking, it was like a dance. Natavara-vāpu, like a dance. And he was wearing very beautiful earrings, and he was decorated with yellow color silken cloth. So many nice descriptions. His Kaustubha mala was swinging here and there. So Vaijayanti mala is swinging here and there. So different type of descriptions. And also when we see that the form which appeared in front of Kardama Muni. That when Kardama was doing long meditation, and the Lord's form appeared in front of Kardama. And the form was unique form. Why? Because in that form, normally the Lord holds Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. But in the form which appeared in front of Kardama Muni, the Lord was holding white water lily. He was not holding lotus. He was holding a different flower. I don't know what is the significance of it. But in Bhagavatam it is said that he is holding a different flower. So, there is some unique nature of every form. There is some unique nature of every form. And the description is given. And whenever such description is given, such description is meant to attract us to the transcendental form. Like I have Ramayana here. And in Ramayana, in the beginning of Ramayana, in the first chapter, which is titled Contents of Ramayana Summarized, there is a long description of the form of the Lord. There's a very, very long description of the form of the Lord. So, in the beginning, Valmiki, he sees Narada, and he is asking him some questions that I'll read some translations. The ascetic Valmiki humbly questioned Narada, who was absorbed in austerities and Vedic study, who was the best of the knower of Vedas as well as the best of the sages. This is his question. That who is this person who is the knower of the Vedas and who is the best among person? Then he is continuing to ask, who in this world and at this time possess all auspicious qualities? You see, this is very important. This question is very important because the Mayavadis are saying that the Supreme Absolute Truth has no qualities. It is light, it has no quality, you cannot interact with it, it is just there. No, the Supreme Absolute Truth, he is possessed of all auspicious qualities. That's the difference between the qualities of a conditioned soul and the qualities of the Supreme Absolute Truth. The qualities of conditioned soul causes inauspiciousness to him, and it also causes inauspiciousness to others. Not only to him, also to others, because they are qualities of the body which are meant or which are taken as the identity of the conditioned soul. No, the identity of the conditioned soul is not the qualities of the body which he possesses. He may possess any type of body. One may say, oh, Brahma's body is very good. What about Brahma's body? He may have Brahma's body. Is it not very good? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if Brahma is devotee, it is fine. But if Brahma is not devotee, it is not fine. He says that kita janma hoy, that let me be born as insect. Bhakta grahe jani. Let me born as insect in the house of a devotee. This is much better position than taking the form of Brahma, who is not a devotee. Bahirmukha Brahma. That Brahma who has turned his face away from Krishna, that Brahma's form is not good. Better than that is to be born as one insect in a devotee's house. Because at least you can hear the chanting of Hare Krishna. The devotee house, they will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it's better to be there and hear the chanting of Hare Krishna, which will cause auspiciousness, even as an insect. So it doesn't matter whether it is Brahma's body or Indra's body or some body or this body or that body, doesn't matter. As long as it is material body, which is simply a function of false ego, then the qualities of body becomes the source of inauspiciousness for himself and others. But here, specifically, it is explained, or Valmiki is asking that who in this world and at this time possess all auspicious qualities. And later there is description of the Lord Rama's qualities by Narada Muni, and then there is elaborate description of how they are all auspicious. Not only description, not only the mentioning of the qualities, but they are also auspicious. Who is powerful, a knower of Vedic dharma, filled with gratitude, a truthful person, and firm in his vows. These are all the qualities of the Supreme Lord. He is very powerful. He is very powerful. He creates the whole world simply by all the universes, simply by one exhalation he creates all of them. That if we exhale some air, little dust from here to there, it can move. Nothing more can happen. But when the Lord exhales, the whole cosmic creation is created with millions of universes. Yes, says Nisvachit Kala Matha Valambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadantanata Vishnor Mahan Saihayasya Kala Vishesho Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So that powerful Lord, who simply by exhalation can create the entire cosmic manifestation, he is Kala Visheshaha. He is simply expansion of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So, how powerful and potent Krishna will be? If Vishnu himself has so much power, how powerful and potent Krishna will be? Unimaginable. Knower of Vedic dharma, Vedescha sarver, ahameva vedyo, Vedanta krit vetu vityeva chaham. Filled with gratitude, patram pushvam phalam toyam, yo me bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhakti upakhritam, ashnami priyatatmanaha. Even though he is so powerful, he is so great, he knows everything. When someone offers a flower, a fruit, a leaf, or little bit water with devotion, immediately the Lord becomes grateful. Oh, he has offered this to me. He is my devotee. I should take care of him. I should take him back to Vaikuntha, to Goloka. Lord is so grateful that simple things, like we can see in Nectar of Devotion, there was one Brahmana, and he did not even offer them physically. He simply offered everything mentally. Of course, he made gorgeous offerings. He made golden pots. And then he went to all the holy rivers all over the universe and collected water from there and performed the Abhishek of the Lord. But all in the mind. Mental offering. Everything in the mind. He did not offer anything physically. He offered everything in the mind. The Lord still accepted the sweet rice. And he sent the aeroplane for him to come back to Vaikuntha. We see this in Nectar of Devotion. He is so grateful. So grateful. That someone calls you for prasad. Prabhuji, please come for prasad. Then you go for prasad. And then you say, okay, where is the prasad? Prabhuji, I offered it in the mind to you. You'll get shocked. Arey, what is this? You call me for prasad, then you say you offer it in the mind. How can I eat from your mind? I cannot eat from your mind. I need prasad in front of me. But the Lord is saying, okay, even if you offer in the mind, it is fine. He's so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. Truthful person. Truthful person. In the prayer of demigods, when Lord Krishna appears, the demigods are praying. The Lord is the personification of absolute truth. Satyam, the Lord is described as Satyam, the personification of absolute truth, and very firm in his vows. Very firm in his vows. His bhakta vatsalyata. He will give up everything to prove his bhakta vatsalyata. Even he will give up his supremacy, his own supremacy, he will give up to prove that he is bhakta vatsala. He will not care for anything else. Simply to prove this one point, I am there for my devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam, sadhunam hridayam tuyaham. That my devotees know me, I know them. I am in their heart, they are in my heart. Durvasa Muni, a great mystic, he is approaching the Supreme Lord because he has offended Ambarisha, and the Sudarshan Chakra is behind him. And Sudarshan Chakra is the Lord's personal weapon. So he went to the Lord in Vaikuntha. He said, your weapon is coming behind me. Can you please do something about this? And the Lord asked him, excuse me, who are you? Who are you? Hey, I am Durvasa Muni. You don't know I am Durvasa Muni? No, I don't. I don't know who you are. I only know my devotees. My devotees only know me. We have one-to-one relationship. They know me, I know them. So who are you? What happened to you? Oh, you offended my devotee. Now what to do? Oh, chakra is coming behind. Oh. But I didn't send the chakra. I didn't send it. It came on its own. If I sent it, I can call it back. It has come on its own. So you go to the source of it, that why it came behind you. Because you offended devotee. Go back to the devotee. You please fall at his feet. If he forgives, chakra will leave you. Otherwise, tough luck. Keep running here and there. Very firm in his vow. Very firm. That he is the protector of devotees. Bhakta Vatsalyata. Always. Lord Ram says that even if I have to give up Lakshmana and Sita, but still I will not deviate from my vow. So, very nice. Very nicely he is asking question. Then he is asking, who always follows Vedic custom? Who benefits all creatures? Who is learned? Who can execute anything? Who is exclusively pleasing to look at? You see, all his questions relate to qualities. All his questions relate to qualities. Who is self-controlled, of controlled anger, splendorous, non-envious? Whom do demigods and others fear when his angers are aroused in war? Everything. The Lord's anger, the Lord's greatness, the Lord's prowess, everything relates to his quality. I am desirous of hearing about this. I am greatly curious. O great sage, you are capable of knowing such person. And Narad Muni replies to him by saying, listen. And then he says that, O sage, having understood several qualities described by you and other qualities that are certainly impossible to be attained, I shall describe a person who is endowed with them. Please listen. The Mayavadis are thinking that the Brahman does not have qualities. Why they are thinking like that? Because they are trying to understand Brahman by their own mental speculation. They don't know the limit of Brahman. Nobody can know the limit of Brahman. Brahman by nature means that which expands and that which causes others to expand. That is the meaning of Brahman as given in the Upanishad. So, there is unlimited expansion of the qualities of Brahman. And the Mayavadis are bereft of knowledge of that qualities. Why? Because they are simply trying to understand Brahman by their poor mental speculation. They think that the Lord can be measured by their mind. That is a mistake. The Lord by nature is called as Adokshaja. Akshajam means Indrajatam. That which can be measured by senses is called Akshaja. And the Lord is called Adokshaja. Adokshaja means one who cannot be measured by senses. So, therefore, Rupa Goswami says, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyahi. That you try to find Krishna or you try to find about the Supreme Lord simply by senses, it's not possible to find. You cannot find. Na bhavet grahyam indriyahi. So, how to find? Simply by mercy. Sevan mukehi jivvadhau. By the same senses which are contaminated. we try to serve Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam. Narada Muni says. So we try to serve. Then by that mercy of the Lord or by the mercy of the devotee, we can know. Just like here, by mercy of Narada Muni, Vyāsadeva Valmiki is going to understand who is that person, who is that great personality. He is saying, please listen, please listen. Ishvāku-vamsa-prabhuvo Ramo nama janeshutaha niyatātma mahaviryo duitiman dhritiman vasi. Born in the dynasty of Ikshvaku, known to the people by the name of Rama, he is untransformed, of great strength, splendor, blissful, and the controller of all. You see, qualities. Qualities. He is Niyatātma. Niyatātma means he is untransformed. Mahavirya, he is of great strength. He is Dvitiman, he is splendorous. He is Dhritiman, he is blissful. He is Vashi, he is the controller of all. Qualities, the qualities of the Lord. And when Narada starts describing these qualities, he cannot just stop. He cannot just stop describing the qualities. It's going on and on and on and on. And here there is a wonderful purport which is given by His Grace Vidwan Gauranga Prabhu, where for each quality of description of Narad Muni, he has given evidence from Shruti that how those qualities are backed up by Shruti. Like for example, we don't have time to read everything, but I'll just read one or two examples. Niyatātma, one whose nature does not change, that is, one who is untransformed. This is noted in the Shruti as follows: Nasya jarāyaitach jiryate na vadhenasya hanyate. Chandogya Upanishad 8.1.5. The Supreme Soul does not decay due to old age, and does not die by being killed. Apahata papma vijaro virmrityur vishoko vijiksataha apipshaha. He is free from sins, old age, death, misery, desires for material enjoyment, and thirst. Like that, he has given very beautiful backup to all those qualities. Buddhiman, Nitiman, Vagmi, Shriman, Shattu Nirbharanaha, Viplamsho, Mahabāhu, Kambu-grivo, Mahahanuhu. He is omniscient. His dealings are very strictly in line with the teachings of the Vedas. He is a propagator of Vedic teachings. He is prosperous, a destroyer of those who obstruct his vision. His shoulders are elevated, his arms are stout, his neck is like conchshell, his jaws are very large. Again, very elaborate description of the form, that how the form of the Lord is there. Here also we find the description of his shoulders, and then we find the same thing. Here also it was said that the shoulders are elevated. In our verse which we read today, the same thing was said about Sutta Goswami, that about Sukadeva Goswami, that he had elevated shoulders. It was said here. His beautiful eyes were white, and his nose and ears were, his legs, his hands, his arms, shoulders, forehead, and other parts were well delicately formed. So, now, he has a broad chest. He is a great archer. His collarbone is invisible. He is victorious over his enemies. His arms reach out to his knees. Again, Ajanulambita Pijo. His face is well formed. His forehead is beautiful, and his gait is beautiful. Like that, there is a continuous description of the Lord's form in various shlokas. He is neither too tall nor too short. The parts of his body, as such, his hands and feet are equally sized. His complexion is moist, he is splendorous, his chest is fleshy, his eyes are long, his bodily parts are lovely, and he possesses other auspicious characters. So, like that, there is long description, more and more shlokas. Even in his commentary to Bhagavad Gita, Ramanuja, as his introduction to Bhagavad Gita, simply he lists all the auspicious qualities of the Lord. That is his introduction. Simply he listed all the auspicious qualities of the Lord. Said that this is what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because it is very important for us to know that God is a person. It's a person. It's very, very important for us to know that God is a person. He is not impersonal. He has qualities, he has activities, he has relationships. It's not that spiritual life means devoid of relationship, devoid of variety, devoid of quality, devoid of activity. It's not like that. It's a misconception. Those who understand the absolute truth, who relish that relationship with that absolute truth, the great devotees, they are always very eager to sing about the qualities of the Lord. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, one of the qualities of a person in bhava is asaktis tat gunakhyani. That he is very attached to describe the qualities of the Lord. Whenever he gets opportunity, he simply talks about the qualities of the Lord. Oh, my Lord is like this, my Lord is like that, he has this quality, he has that quality. Always attached to description of the qualities of the Lord and the qualities of great devotees of the Lord. So, Bhagavad Katha and Bhagavat Katha, he is always attached to both of it. He wants to talk about the Lord and those who belong to the Lord. Such a person is called as an experienced person. Such a person is called as an experienced person. A person who has experienced the absolute truth by the own dint of his knowledge and realization. Such a person is called an experienced person. He is called Tattvadarshi. So, such a person should be, we should search out such a person. We should find such a person. We should search out such a person. Because that person, his qualities, they are also auspicious for everyone. His qualities are also auspicious for everyone. Therefore, his qualities are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam very elaborately. Rishabhadev says, Mahat Seva Dwara Mahur Vimuktes Tamodwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Then he goes on to say, who is Mahat? Mahantaste Samachitta Prashanta Vimanyava Suhrita Sadhavo Ye. He is Samachitta, he is Prashanta, he is Vimanyava. Samachitta means that he is very broad-minded. He does not think that Krishna consciousness is a sectarian thing. Only some people should take up to Krishna consciousness. Krishna is God only for some people. He does not think like that. He thinks that everybody should take up to Krishna consciousness in all the 14 planetary systems. Krishna consciousness should be preached far and wide throughout all the universes. That is his plan, because Krishna is the Lord of all the universes. That's called Samachitta. He is Prashanta. He is always pacified. He is always pacified. He is not disturbed by the circumstances of this material world. He understands the circumstances of the material world are always passing. He is Vimanyava. He does not get angry. Sometimes his disciples or his followers, they may not listen to him, or they may not fully understand what he is trying to convey. But he doesn't become angry. Without becoming angry, he instructs everyone. Vimanyava. Suhrita, he simply wishes well for everyone. He simply wishes well for everyone. He does not want anything from anyone. Rather, he wants to cause auspiciousness to everyone. It's called Suhrita. Sadhavo. Sadhu means that one whose behavior cannot be faulted. You cannot find any fault in his behavior. Kapiladeva also explains, Titikshava Karunika Suhridam Sarvadehinam Ajata Chatravas Sadhavas Sadhavo Sadhubhushanaha. That a great personality, he is Titikshava, he is always tolerant, he is Karunika, he is greatly merciful. Suhridam Sarvadehinam, already we saw, he is the well-wisher of everyone. Ajata-chatru. He does not treat anybody as his enemy. Some people may treat him as their enemy, but he does not treat them as his enemy. He has no enmity towards anybody because he sees everybody as spirit soul, who are unfortunately bound by the three modes. So, therefore, he does not have an enemy born. Ajata-chatru. Chatru means enemy. Jata means born. Ajata means his enemy who is not born. He is called Ajata-chatru. So, he is sadhu. He is decorated with all good qualities. Sadhu bhushanaha. His behavior is faultless. Rather, he is decorated with so many good qualities. So, that person is a great person. Great personality. Mahat. And the association of such a person should be sought behind. And we should try to obtain the association of such person. Why? Kapiladeva explains, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. That these great personalities, what these people are doing, they are not sitting and chit-chatting some nonsensical topic. They are not sitting and chit-chatting about what is happening in this material world, which politician is going where, which man is running behind which woman, which film star is doing what film. They are not talking about all these things. They are simply talking about the Lord's very potent and powerful activities and qualities. Mama virya samvido. Mama virya samvido. So what is the effect of sitting and hearing at their lotus feet? Bhavanti hritkanna rasayana katha. That katha, which we hear about the potent activities and qualities of the Lord, just like Valmiki, he is trying to hear from Narad Muni. He is asking that who is that person who has all these great qualities? Can you please explain what are his activities? Can we know that what he did, how he acted? He is asking. It's very important to ask such questions. So, by hearing such questions, by hearing answer for such questions, hritkarna rasayana katha, there's a transformation of the heart which happens through the ear holes. Brahma also explains this very nicely in 3rd canto in his prayers. He says that how the ear holes are acting like the nose or the eyes. The ear holes replace the function of the nose and eyes. Brahma very nicely explains. Shutekshitapata. He says that by hearing we can see the Lord. Shutekshitapata. And then he also says Shrutivāta-nītam. Jihranti karna vivarai Shrutivāta-nītam. That one can smell the lotus feet of the Lord, the smell, the aroma which is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, simply by the ear holes, by the wind of the descriptions of Vedic literature. Jihranti karna vivarai Shrutivāta-nītam, he says. So we should sit and hear. We should sit and hear from these great personalities. So then, through the ear holes, the transformation of heart will take place. And what is the result of such transformation? It is explained. Tat joshanat asau apavargavartmani. Very quickly, we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Very quickly, we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Shraddha, ratir, bhaktir, anukramishyati. That we can develop that unbroken, firm faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is our master. We are his servant. Jivera Swarupahoy, Krishna Nityadas. We are his servant. We can develop that firm faith simply by hearing from such great personalities, listening to them, following their instruction. Like we can see that the amount of influence Prabhupada has created by making this international society of Krishna consciousness all over the world, that in so many parts of the world, people are hearing Krishna Katha in different parts of the world. People are so interested in hearing Krishna Katha. They are hearing the message of Krishna. They are appreciating the qualities of Krishna. They are becoming devotees of Krishna. They are chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by Gunanuvarnana. guna anuvarnana. By the description of the auspicious qualities of Krishna in line with the acharyas. So such a person who is able to describe this, he is a greatly experienced person. Satkarma nipuno vipra mantra tantra visharadaha avaishnavo na guru syat vaishnavo swapacho guru. It doesn't matter whether that person is born in very high family or a very low family, or it doesn't matter whether that person is 16-year-old or 60-year-old. It doesn't matter whether the person has some big degree from big institution or no degree from any institution. Doesn't matter these things. Because he knows the science of Krishna, then he should be accepted as spiritual master, because that is the experience. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashtena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That person who has experienced the absolute truth, he should be sought after, he should be served. In front of him, sitting at his lotus feet, questions should be asked about the auspicious qualities of the Lord, about the auspicious nature of the Lord, about the activities of the Lord, and that will cause auspiciousness not only to ourselves but to the whole world. And we can see this practically by the activities of Srila Prabhupada in establishing the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So somehow or other, by good fortune, we have met him. Swarna sandarshito dhatra dushtaram nishtiti satam kalim sattvaharam pumsam karnadhara ivarnavam. We have met him, if not by Vapu, but by Vani, by his books, in his deity form, by his teachings, through his disciples. We have met him. By his good fortune, we have joined this association of pure devotees. So we should try to take advantage of this wonderful association. We should become very interested in hearing about the activities and qualities of the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. Become very much interested. And we should try to utilize this opportunity, all of us, to chant Hare Krishna and then go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, some questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You said one thing that God has God has personal form that we know, but somewhere in the scriptures it is also mentioned that it has the God has some impersonal form. Like, can you just give some light on this? Because many of the time I also come across people are also saying like that. So what is the reality? What is the truth behind that?
So the reality is that Prabhupada explains that both these class of people, there are two classes of people, personalist and impersonalist. Personalists say that God has form, and impersonalists say God has no form. Okay. Prabhupada says both these class of people are wrong. Why? Because the God simultaneously has form and he does not have form. Simultaneously both are true. Vadanti tattva vidastatvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdyate. The supreme absolute truth is explained in Bhagavatam by this wonderful verse. Vadanti means they are saying tat tattva vidas, those who know the tattva, those who know the absolute truth, they are saying, what they are saying, tattvam yajnanam advayam. The knowledge of absolute truth is non-dual. What is the non-duality? The non-duality is that the Lord is simultaneously Brahman, which is impersonal, Paramatma, who is all-pervading, and Bhagavan, who is exclusively personal. He is simultaneously all the three. But how he can be simultaneously all the three? That is achintya. That is inconceivable. That's why he is God. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the philosophy, achintya bheda abheda tattva. He is simultaneously one and different. He is simultaneously personal and impersonal. The Mayavadis and who are saying that Lord is impersonal, and those who are saying the Lord is only personal, they are not understanding the full extent of the Lord's opulence or his potency, because they are still trying to define Lord according to their understanding. God is beyond our understanding. So therefore, he can be simultaneously personal and impersonal. So there are descriptions of impersonal nature in the Upanishad. Those descriptions, many of them are pointing towards the impersonal Brahman, which is the bodily effulgence of the Supreme Lord. And there are statements in Upanishads and the Shruti which actually shows this. And Krishna summarizes all those statements in Bhagavad Gita. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyasya cha sasvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya cha, says that that Brahman is which is experience of eternity and bliss. That Brahman is simply dependent on me. It is my bodily effulgence. Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita. So Lord is simultaneously personal and impersonal.
And can I say all the objects which is there in the universe has all God is already there inside. So as an atom, or you can say as a Paramatma. So all these objects has a form. So can I say God has taken all these forms?
No, all these objects has a form. That doesn't mean God has taken all the forms. God has his own form. Like for example, a carpenter makes a table. The table has a form. The carpenter has not become the table.
No,
right? I mean, so therefore, the forms are different. Lord's form is different. Okay. So the philosophy that because God is dispersed everywhere, so he has become everything, that philosophy is not correct. Our understanding, or the Vaishnava philosophy very clearly says, the Lord has entered everything in his own form, and he is invigorating everything. Like for example, in Upanishad it is said that there are two birds in one tree, not one bird, but two birds in one tree. One is the Jiva, the other one is the Paramatma. So Paramatma is retaining his own form, and the Jiva is the other bird in the tree of the body, and the Jiva bird, he is actually enjoying the tree, and the Paramatma bird is supervising him. And because the Jiva bird is not looking at the Paramatma, who knows how to fly out of this tree and go to the spiritual world? He knows, Paramatma knows. He can take the Jiva bird. But the Jiva bird is not looking at the Paramatma. He is busy eating the fruits of the tree. Sometimes the fruit is very sweet, so he is enjoying. Sometimes the fruit is very bitter, so he is suffering. So he is not looking at the Paramatma bird. The Paramatma bird has not become the tree. The energy of the Paramatma bird is the tree. The tree is the energy of the Paramatma bird. Like a woman cooks gulab jamun by her energy. She uses her energy and then cooks gulab jamun. But gulab jamun is different from the woman. So the same way, this material cosmic manifestation is cooked by the Supreme Lord, by his energy. But the Lord himself is aloof from this cosmic manifestation. So Krishna explains this in 9th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. He says, Pashyame yogamaishwaram. That you see, this is my yogamaishwaram. That everything is pervaded by me, but I am not in everything. So that is the point.
The last question, Prabhu. Yeah. Like in the Uddhava, Krishna's, I think, brother.
No, he is not brother.
Friend, sorry.
Yeah.
So he also he was also worshipping before the impersonified form of the Lord. Then Lord,
I don't know where you get that understanding from. It's not there in Bhagavatam, that understanding.
Then I think Krishna has given the incidents where he he went into the Vrindavan, and then he says,
I think you should stop reading Facebook and start reading Bhagavatam. Because so many things come in Facebook nowadays about spirituality, or so-called spirituality, that Uddhava did this, Krishna did this, Duryodhana did this. So that is why I said in the class that Krishna Katha should be heard from one who has experience. And the person who has experience is a Mahabhagavata. So instead of thinking that I think it is like this, I think it is like that, if we simply read Prabhupada books, our thinking process will become very clear, because Prabhupada will explain everything nicely and Bhagavatam will explain everything nicely. So since you are very much interested to know these things, it would do very well if you would actually buy a set of Bhagavatam, buy Bhagavad Gita, and then if you patiently go through it with the guidance of pure devotees, that's what we discussed today, Satam Prasangan, Mama Virya Samvido, in the association of devotees, if you try to go through these things, all misgivings can be removed simply by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, simply we have to read Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. Everything will be removed, all misgivings will be removed. Patita Pavan Prabhu wanted to give some comment. Can you give that?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for the nice class. You've been saying that the Lord's glories are very nicely described, and we should always hear from the person who has the qualities, who can describe the Lord's glories. One point that comes to my mind is, if we ourselves elevate ourselves or others to the situation where it appears like they can actually describe the Lord's form, qualities, and very nicely, but then on the other side the achar is not there, it becomes only effective to the point that we are actually practicing these things. So only that much we can deliver, to the extent that we practice. So in the case that if we elevate ourselves or others to the position that they cannot be effective in preaching, it kind of waters down the whole objective of our society. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we should stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Valmiki Rama.